Hello, MGC members, going to be coming to you today. Boy, we have had a great start to our golf season so far. Course came through in such great condition as it has in the past. And so just want to take this opportunity to do a quick video on just some of the etiquette and things like that, any changes that we have going on out here at the golf course to just help the enjoyability of everybody and keep our golf course in the best shape it possibly can be. So we're going to start with carts. So carts, as we know, par threes, we're going to keep those carts on the par threes throughout, on the cart pass throughout all the par threes. Once we get to the fours and the fives, you'll notice now we have a white line that is in front of these greens. It is 20 yards is our rule that we need to keep those carts away from the greens. So once you hit this white line, move on over, go on over to the cart path and make sure that when you park on that cart path that all four tires are on that path. So that's what we're doing for carts this year. As we move into our season here, we're going to get a whole new resurfacing of all of our cart paths. We're going to have some curbing put in as well, which will be exciting and help with these different aspects too, to help keep that area around the greens in even better shape moving forward here. Moving on, other things, ball marks. Now, it's been really firm here so far in this first week and a half that we've been open, but know that once the course gets a little bit wetter, well, it doesn't take much to make a ball mark. It doesn't mean that it has to be a shot from 150 yards way high in the air to make a ball mark. If it's a little bit damp, boy, the smallest chip even getting it up in the air can make those ball marks. So make sure you're on the lookout for them. The rule we always like to go by is fix yours and fix one other. And that's going to leave those greens in fantastic shape as we move through this season. Other things, divots. You'll know that you'll see that we have the sand and seed bottles that can be picked up right outside of the clubhouse there by number 1 tee, also by number 2 tee. Pick those up, bring them out on the course, but always know that we always would prefer a divot being replaced. So if you have a divot that is salvageable, that still has some root structure to it, make sure that you replace that divot. You can sprinkle a little sand seed around it if you would like, but the biggest thing by far is taking that divot, putting it in that spot the way it was, way it came out, stomp it down, and that will help regrow that turf instead of having to wait for the seed to germinate and all those things to be able to grow into that. We'd rather have the divot replaced. That's number one. Bunkers. Let's make sure that we're raking those bunkers no matter what time of the day. So it's obvious, you know, we're playing at 10 o'clock in the morning that I need to rake those bunkers, but I think some people may think as they get later in the day that, well, I don't have to rake those bunkers anymore because nobody else is playing and they'll get it in the morning. What we ask is that you always think that there's going to be somebody behind you yet. So make sure that you are raking those bunkers. Same method as we did last year, using the tines of that rake to do the bottom of the bunkers, but then we're going to use the back of that rake to do the area that is on the slopes of each of those bunkers. So that's our process again to get those bunkers in the best shape that they can be from the time that we open to the last minute that we close up for each day. And then finally, pace of play. So just try to be real courteous of those who are behind you, no matter what the time of day is, just trying to keep up with that group ahead of you as best that you can, and just being really aware of those that are behind you. So if you do have some room in front of you and you have a twosome, say, coming up behind you, maybe tell them to play through. So hit your shot on a par 3 and then wave them up to hit a shot to move on. So just a couple things of our general etiquette that we like to do out here at the club and really anywhere in golf. So if you have any questions about this, or they have an idea of another video to do on something like this, make sure you get a hold of me and we'll take care of that. Thanks, folks. We're going to have a great season.